What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, today we're going to go over a couple categories. Since the market's closed, we're going to talk about more of an educational thing today. Now, so we're going to be talking about explaining Fed rates, inflation, Bitcoin, small cap coins, crude oil, Santa rally, yes or no, the next week, and the moving averages. Now, I'm not just going to talk about this subject. I'm going to explain every single thing that you need to know about this and how it's going to affect the market. I'm not just going to sit there and be a YouTuber saying this is what rates are. No, I'm going to explain what rates do to the market. I'm going to explain what inflation does to the market. I'm going to explain how those two affect Bitcoin, your small cap coins, crude oil, and that's also going to affect your Santa rally. Are we going to get one? Yes or no? And then also your Mega 7 for the next week, and then your moving averages that are going to support this claim. Because a lot of YouTubers, I mean, guys, I've been you guys. Before I started YouTube about 3.5 years ago, I was watching the other YouTubers and they would just gaslight you nonstop. Ricky and Ron's one of them. They like to gaslight you a lot. Not saying they don't try. I mean, Ricky doesn't try. He just already cashes in from his mommy and daddy's money, from his investments, from his parents and his real estate. But Ron, he does try. I'll give him that. Ron is there. He just, honestly, I don't think he really trades. I think he sells news, right? But a lot of YouTubers probably can't even explain all of these. So out of 17 years of trading nonstop from around 08 to 010 and probably on and off through about a couple years, don't even want to get into that. But I'm going to explain all of these and how these all are correlated. Literally all of these subjects right here literally are all correlated together. You can literally make money, or you can identify what you want to go into after the next 6 months. Like, say if we get a bear market, right? What would you go into? I would definitely go into small cap coins or Bitcoin. If you were about to get a recession, right? What would you go into? Definitely crude oil. And, and then you're going to have to back up these claims, right? Within inflation and cutting rates. And what is the market about to do? So let's go over this today. It is going to be kind of a long video, but I guarantee you it's probably going to be one of the most educational videos you've seen probably within 6 months or to a year, because a lot of people can't do this. Literally, a lot of people can't do this. So let's start off with explaining federal rates. And by the way, guys, we have a Discord. The link is in the description in the video down at the very bottom. If you want to come in and talk about your account or what's going on, what you should be looking at, or if you're struggling with trading, guys, just come in there. I'm in there all day. We talk about it, and honestly, it's all free. Now, my time isn't free, but in general, if you need help or just want to hang out with a really cool but if you really want to hang out with a cool group of people, we definitely have that, and I'm actually really proud of that. And by the way, this channel has grown 53% in 3 weeks. Guys, thank you guys so much, especially for the likes. But let's start on with the federal rates. And I think a good definition would be around Japan's federal rates that came out last week. JP posted it, my mod. Where is it? But yeah, he posted the federal rates. And I really want to show you this because I think it's super educational. And I think it would be really good for you guys to actually see in person, because I don't have the ticker up actually, and I really should do it. All right, so Japan raises rates to the highest level in 30 years as inflation stays above target. Now, I'm going to show you what happens when you hold rates really high and the economy is booming for a long time. Now, this is something that America is finally breaking its top, and hopefully the Mega 7 can actually break this where we don't have to worry about it. But I talk about this once in a while with other people in the Discord, especially other, people in the other countries. Our economy, we're number one in the world, right? Our market usually pumps or does pump other markets. But the thing is, our economy can take on a lot more abuse. Now, Japan is raising rates. And the thing is, their economy is booming into a level and you can't even understand. Like their index, you imagine a bull market now in the U.S. economy. Guys, go look at the index of the Japan. That bull market is super unrealistic. Super unrealistic. And when you raise rates to the highest level in 30 years as inflation stays above target, those rates can't hold down inflation forever. You can only raise rates and hold inflation down. Or let's say this, if you go to 1979, right, in our economy back then, and especially now, pretty much around 3 years, you can only hold our economy around 5% rates before inflation just says, F you, I'm going to push. And that's the problem with Japan right now. So as you can see, this is Japan's, index. It's been pushing, and you can see how it's pretty much the same thing as ours almost. But the thing is, it never really had a bull market or a bear market. It never resetted rates. Because if you want to kill inflation, The only way you can kill inflation, kill it, like legitly kill it, not by raising rates, is to have a recession. And recessions are not bad. Recessions, you get rate cuts, right? Well, the thing is, Japan has not had a recession really. Now back in 2020, when we did started getting a bear market in 2020, 21, whatever you want to call it, around 2020 to 2022, Japan had a little bit of a dip, but it was quickly bought up, just like how we've been, right? And it went off. Their economy went with our economy. Their market has been booming. So when you want to fight inflation, because when you have an economy booming, that's when inflation spikes, is when you have an economy booming. Now, if you want to fight that, you want to raise rates, right? That's why if you actually look at our rates and stuff like that, let's just go to inflation really quick. So if you actually look at this map, this is the micro map on TradingView. It's honestly super good. I don't know why other YouTubers don't use this, but let's just go to the inflation rate, right? I'm going to show you the American inflation rate. When you hold up rates really high, this is what it does. If it'll load. So if you actually look at it, sorry, I have to cut the videos because my internet's being slow, but either way. So if you actually look at inflation, this is us around 2019, we had a really hard spike in inflation because our economy was booming, right? Well, after after Biden came in office, he got his bear market, inflation was getting killed, started to drop really hard. Now, the only reason why inflation is staying sideways is because we're raising rates. Now we're finally cutting rates, and that's the thing. If you're cutting rates, there's nothing to hold down inflation. We will start getting bad CPI reports probably next month or in February, and that's probably what's going to start off the true bear market. We haven't really had a bear market starting yet. Now we're just at a top end of the bull channel. I'll show you that in a second. But this right here, Japan is facing horrible. Let's actually see if I can pull it up. So you can see the inflation, right, in Japan. They've been holding rates forever, for almost 5 years, and now inflation, they can't get it under control. Eventually, it's just going to pop even harder and harder until they actually get a bear market. And they're not going to get a bear market until we start to do that. So just be very careful. That's really some basic knowledge. And you can also see, here's the interest rates of Japan. Notice how they started to jack up interest rates nonstop. That's to fight this bull market they've been going in since around literally 13, nonstop, no recession. So, Trump wants to come into office, right? He wants to cut rates. He wants to give better deals to the economy. You can't do that without a bear market. Literally, can't do that. You can cut rates a little bit, and a little bit, 0.25. That's nothing, guys. Like, literally, still at 3.5 or 3.75% interest rates is still extremely high. So, thanks, JC, for that picture also, and a couple other things in the Discord. That's why you're a mod. Thanks for the support. But this is also what I want to talk about, too. So, let's say we do get a recession, right? Let's add this to this too, because I think this will be it's pretty much the same thing. Like your Mega 7 and Bitcoin, same thing. It's going to be the same layout overall. So let's say this: if you're a new trader, right, you're new to this channel because no other YouTuber is going to talk about this, which I don't understand why. If you don't know, Bitcoin, Mega 7, and small cap coins, they all follow each other. Now, not down to the 1 minute time frame, so don't get your hopes up saying, oh, that's the secret to trading. A overall path. Now, there is a lot of small cap coins that already are giving out, especially even the Mega 7. Just really the bigger Mega 7 are holding the market up. But if you look at the smaller Mega 7, they're already going into a decline of around, into the bear market starting. So here's Netflix chart, right? Now, you can already see how they are already starting to hit the bottom of the old bull channel. Now, this was the bull rally that we've had from 2022. And a lot of the smaller Mega 7 have already rejected from their top, already down to around here. Now, around here in the Mega 7, where they will hit, I'll show you the next chart on, like, say, Apple or something else. This is around 550 of the triple Qs. So a lot of these tops are breaking. This is why we're cutting rates, because the market is cooling down. Now, a lot of the market's being held up. Yes, the triple Qs did hit around 618 this week, but in the longer run, it's probably going to hit 550. That's why we're cutting rates. We already know the market's getting weak, and it's probably going to take it under. You can see it in a lot of other stocks too, especially like CRWV. You can see a lot of the new stocks that came out around the 400 and the triple Qs have already broken their tops and started to make it into the new lows, or old low. Well, I guess you could say new lows because it's a new stock. But here's the thing. Let's say you trade crypto, right? And you don't know. If you don't understand crypto, I go over this once in a while, and honestly, I don't know why other YouTubers don't talk about this. But if you are trading crypto, like just say bigger cap coins. So here's the triple Qs, here's Bitcoin. Same thing. Same layout, same everything. Now, it's not down to the 1 minute time frame, but on the day chart, it's going to be the exact same thing. Now, the one thing that I do want to point out about small cap coins, though, let's just say we do get a recession in the market, right? Let's just say we go back down to, and a recession isn't bad. Like, let's just say we go to 440. Now, I did call this out a long time ago. I was posting videos, a lot of, endless amount of videos for like 3 months saying we're going to hit 400 triple Qs. We hit it right on point. Trump didn't get his, because in recessions, you really got to hold the bottom to kill inflation. You really got to hold the bottom to kill rates. Trump didn't get that. That's why he started calling Powell out. But if we actually do get a bear market that holds, you're going to get a really good buying opportunity for especially Bitcoin or these small cap coins. Honestly, I would choose small cap coins, not financial advice. But if we do go down here, right, to say 440, 445, you're going to start hitting around a $60,000 Bitcoin. And then also, I'm going to tell you right now, that's probably going to be the lowest level you're probably going to see, probably forever, unless if we get another stock market crash. Because when we get a recession, right, it's usually about 6 to 8 months, and then we trade sideways, and then we go into another bull market because inflation's cooled off. So you're probably going to see something like this where the market's going to come down, trade sideways for about 3-4 months, kill inflation, drop rates, and then you're going to get into another bull market, which Trump is definitely going to get. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing that nobody is talking about. Literally, no one is talking about. And honestly, I don't know why. One of the biggest buying opportunities you can probably see, and honestly, I'm not going into the Mega 7. I'm still going to chart them and make videos and everything, but I'm definitely not going to go, well, we're in a recession, we're at the bottom of the bear market, I'm going to buy the Mega 7 shares. No, guys, look at this, right? For the past, probably 6 months, let's just go to small cap coins. Let's just go to, where's XRP? Do I still have it? I thought I still had XRP. Yeah, here's XRP, right? One of the biggest stocks of the towns. No, it didn't get its drop. Let's go to Doge. So a lot of these small cap coins have been getting murdered already because they already been dropping. So a lot of these small cap coins have already broken their 2023 bull market start. You can see back in 2023 when we start getting the bull market in the market, all of these coins have boomed hard. I'm talking about like booming, probably more than any Mega 7 stock that could even do in 10 years. So what you're going to see, right, if we do go into a recession, a lot of these smaller cap coins are even going to go lower, probably drop another 50%. Let's go to Pepe, right? Look at this, right? This is a small cap coin that's been going on for a while. You can see how the 2023 bull market, this is around 2024 when it came out, kind of a coincidence, right? And look what it did when it started hitting around 2025, where the bull market pretty much, started cooling off. A lot of these coins boomed because the market was going up. But you can see a lot of these coins already have wiped that top. So what I'm probably going to do, not financial advice, is I'm probably going to start looking at small cap coins when we go into this next recession. And you can do this also. I mean, you can overlap, these small cap coins, and you can see how a lot of the market's going to affect these small cap coins. Bitcoin, if it drops down even lower, these small cap coins are going to go lower. They follow the market. They literally follow the triple Qs. It's really not that hard. And I kind of want to make this video because I know this video is probably going to change someone's life later on. Now let's go to the next subject because they're literally all tied together. And I think it's crude oil, and I've been wanting to talk about crude oil for a very long time, especially to my 9 players in the Discord or people that trade oil. Your time is about to shine. I'm telling you, like, it's going to be a crazy time in oil. Now, here's the thing. I do want to talk about this because I think Trump is getting prepared because I don't think he wants to be like Biden and have his name well known as crude oil pumping to $125 a barrel oil. So let's go to the triple Qs really quick. Let's go to about this time frame where you can kind of see, right? So let's bring up crude oil. Let's actually go to crude oil and let's pull up the triple Qs. That'd probably be a little bit cleaner. So if you were trading like even natural gas, honestly, and you can do this with a lot of resources. A lot of resources go against the market. So like say if the market goes up, you'll see a lot of resources go down. So if the market's going to go into a recession, you'll see a lot of resources go up. Now, gold and silver are different. They go with the market. But crude oil, let me show you this, right? So here's crude oil and here's the triple Qs. So as you can see, as we go into a recession, right? This is the 2022 recession all the way down to the bottom of it in around December. You can see how crude oil pumps really hard. Now you can see as crude oil is really declining through years and years and years because we had a bull market for 2.5 years. If we go into a recession to cut rates and to fight inflation, right? You're going to see crude oil pop. Now, not being a conspiracy theorist, not saying, oh, this is what Trump is going to do, but I guarantee you the reason why we're attacking, and I'm definitely not going to say the country's name because I don't want the algo to pick me up, but the reason why we're taking oil from another country, especially taking an oil tanker and picking on this smaller country that literally is closer than anyone else across the world, just not Iran, it's kind of a coincidence, right? It's kind of a smart move on Trump, honestly, if you want to stay the number one world's power, which that's his goal. But I'm going to tell you this. We probably won't see $110 a barrel if we go into a recession, but I guarantee we'll see 99, $100 a barrel, maybe 89, something like that, very high. And what that's going to do, let's bring this up really quick. So let's go to one of my favorite oil stocks, right? Let's go to 9. I've been trading 9 on and off for probably 4.5 years, something like that. Now this is when I was making videos back in 2022, right? I was making videos saying, hey, we're going to recession, oil's going to pump. Now I kind of made the mistake of not investing myself, and I made videos and I felt really dumb, but I didn't think it was going to go to $19. But if we go into a recession, you're going to see like oil stocks pump like this. You're going to see a very hard pump. And what do I mean by that? Let's pull up crude oil, right? So here's crude oil. Let's go to all. I think this one is mine. Yeah, well, either way it works. Now, as you can see how crude oil is pumping. So when crude oil is around $120 a barrel, this oil stock pumped to around $19. Kind of crazy. Now, as you see oil drop for so long, you can see how this oil stock dropped for so long. And you can do this with a lot of your resource stocks. So what I'm saying is, in the long run, if we do go into a recession, you're going to see a lot of oil investments going to be one of the top subjects, especially if you're a trader. So just keep that in mind if you are like, what do I invest into a recession? You don't have to do SQQ. Now, let's do this, right? So back it up just a little bit. Trump wants to cut rates. He wants to fight inflation. Now, what did I talk about just a while ago? Japan's interest rates, right, hit a highest level of 30 years. Inflation stays above target. That's because their economy is booming, right? So if Trump wants to cut rates, he can't have a high inflation. What do you think he's going to plan on doing? Have a bear market. So to this claim of, are we going to have a Santa rally? Yes or no? Well, let's just check it out, right? Let's just do like a TA of 2 months. Let's just not say a bear market, but let's just say Trump, because a lot of the Mega 7, just like how I showed you Netflix, have pushed down to the bottom of their channels of the 2023 bull market. So let's just aim for here, right? Are we going to get a Santa rally? Well, it's already December 2nd or 20th. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on, but let's just look at this really quick. So as we're looking at this, the triple Qs, bottom of the bull market is around 550, 555, something like that, whichever you want to take it. So let's actually look up and back up this claim, because let's pull up the moving averages too to knock out 2 and 1, because I don't want a hour-long video like Ron's. So let's pull up the moving averages. So as you can see, I'm going to go over this really quick because I know there's some new viewers, and I should take this off to make it easier on your eyes. Let's take off the 50 and the 200 and the 100. So if you are trading, one of the biggest learning curves in the moving averages, they can tell you the direction of the market and who's in control, right? So if you don't understand this, let's make it really simple. If the 10 moving average is below the 20 moving average, bears are in full control. What you'll see a lot of the times is, let's just back it up a little bit. Let's go to that old bear market, right? When you're in an old bear market and the 10 is under the 20 moving average, you will reject off this 10 moving average. You will reject, and sometimes you get pop outs and then you go back under and you reject. Now, the thing is, with a bull market, the 10 moving average will become as your support. It's just an inverted 10 and 20, pretty much. You will reject off this 10 and find support on the 10 moving average, and you'll just continuously just grind, right? So let's look at this really quick. So if you're trading, the one biggest mistake, especially in my Discord, is they look at indexes. They don't look at the backbone of it. So let's look at the Mega 7 right after this, right? So this upcoming week, or weeks, whichever, you can see the 10 and 20 about to come into a cross. Now, in the Discord for the past week, or especially Friday, we had a pump. I did point out around 595, something like that, there was going to be a support, and we would probably do something like this where we'd hit that support, come back up, and then probably start making our way down to around 550. And that's probably going to come into play very soon, and I'll back that claim up in a second. Now, as you can see, the 10 is about to cross under that 20 moving average. So next week, you need to be very careful, because that's most likely going to reject and start pushing down lower. So let's look at the Mega 7, right? So let's back up, because I know Apple's chart is going to be very huge and very simple to read after you see this. So are we going to get a Santa rally? That's the big question, right? So if you don't know, the older the channel is, the more accurate it's going to be. And as you can see, right, this channel has been going on since 2020. We have rejected every single time off this top. We have found support every single time on this support. Now, it takes a long time to pretty much pull, Apple down from the top of the channel to the bottom of the channel, right? So like right here, this took all the way for probably about 4 months. So if Apple decides to reject, because this channel is a very old channel, very accurate, down to here, it's probably going to be 4 months of dropping, selling off, right? But also to just throw this out there, if you don't look at this, let's actually point this out. So right here, and I'll show you more in a second without the Big 7. Right here is around 400 in the triple Qs. We've had a 400 in the triple Qs push up to around 630. Now you can see the 10 and the 20 crossing, but what you also don't see, let me pull up the 50, is it's hanging on by the skin of its teeth. Apple, for the first time since around 420 in the triple Qs, is sitting on the 50 moving average, and a lot of the other Mega 7 are too. So be very careful for this upcoming week because, guys, literally it's going to be super easy to break this 50 moving average, and Apple is huge in the market. I'm talking about huge. It's literally like 10% of the NAS, 6% of the SP 500, stuff like that. So just be very careful. Keep an eye on Apple, and then also the second one you want to keep an eye on is NVDA. Now, this is one claim too, right? So in order to get a Santa rally, all of the bulls are going to have to break, and this is a lot of the Mega 7, honestly, like Amazon, I'll show you the charts in a second. You're going to have to break all of these moving averages for no reason. Literally no reason. Now the bears are just going to have to reject off this 10 and 20 moving average and go for another leg lower. That's all they need. Now, what we did on Friday, we had a push up, hit that 10 moving average, screaming in the Discord, be very careful. This is a high rejection zone. Your next support's gonna be around 157. Let's look at Amazon, right? In order to get a Santa rally, you're gonna have to have another Mega 7, all of the Mega 7, honestly, to break all of these moving averages. So good luck. But at Amazon, right? All you're gonna need is to reject off this 10 and pushing down to the 200 moving average. Let's go to Google, right? So for some reason, people think we're going to have a Santa rally, and Google is just going to do another push from 400 in the triple Qs from 630. I guess Google's just, there's no TA in trading. I guess Google's just for no reason going to pump up to around 370. I don't get why people think that. But if you look on the back end, if you do your TA, you can see the 10 and 20 crossing. You can see how it push up to that 10 moving average. Take it back a second. What did I tell you about the bear trend of the 10 and 20? When the 10 gets under the 20 moving average, it rejects every single time at this 10 moving average. Let's look at Meta's chart really quick too. So to get a Santa rally, you're going to have all of the other Mega 7 push past their moving averages, and you're going to need Meta to break that 200 moving average and that 100 moving average, and you're going to have to make new highs in Meta. You're going to need a 670 Meta push to 800 for no reason. That's what I'm saying. Now you can see also it's getting weak. The 10 moving average, which tells you the buying and selling, is getting really weak in Meta also. It's about to cross, and the 10 moving average is going to get under 20, and you're going to see a rejection off of this 200 moving average, and it's going to decline like this. It's going to just decline, get under all those moving averages, and do this. That's another thing you need to pay attention to. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla is one of the ones that's pretty much going to be the last one to come in the show. It did reject off of this 10 moving average. See how it finds support on the 10 moving average? But if you have 48%, 47% of the market dropping, Tesla is going to finally give out. You can see it's starting to get weak. It's going to get under that 10 moving average, and it's going to start rejecting off of those moving averages. And you're going to see what I just showed you. Let's look at AVGO, right? And sorry, I wish I had it last video. Now you can see AVGO just shot through all of its moving averages. So during earnings, had a bad earnings, shot all of the moving averages. So if you're going to need a Santa rally, you're going to need something to just come out of the wind and say AVGO is just incredible. It's going to need to break this 100 moving average, the 50, the 10, and 20, and it's going to have to make almost the same old highs. So good luck with your Santa rally. Now we do have a high rejection zone right here. Same thing. 10 moving average is going to come down to here. It's going to reject. It's going to start making its way down to around 289. Now, one thing I do want to point out, remember this orange line, right? Remember the 200 moving average in all of these Mega 7 I just pointed out. Did I do Microsoft? I think I did. No, I didn't do Microsoft. But look right here. It's already at its 200 moving average. Now it's just sitting right above that 10 and 20 moving average. If we have a simple rejection in the market, it's going to push past those moving averages, and the bears are going to take control. Let's look at AMD, right? So AMD at a high rejection zone. You can see as a bearish trend, it rejects a lot at the 10 moving average. Now it's just floating, did a little bit of a breakout, reject off that 20, sitting right at under that 10 moving average. You're probably going to see AMD come in really close to around 161. But here's the thing, guys. Look at how all of these stocks have already pushed through the 200 moving average, or already going to push to the 200 moving average. So what does that tell you, right? If you don't know, everything is tied together in the market in some way. If you have all of the Mega 7 about to push to their 200 moving average, what that's going to do to your indexes is you're going to see this top break, and you're going to see a lot of the indexes push to their 200 moving average. You're going to see the NAS 100 push to the 200 moving average. right here. Or, well, this is the NAS. Sorry, I didn't click on the NAS 100. But you're going to see the NAS push to the 200 moving average. On the SP 500, right? You're going to see the SP 500 push to the 200 moving average. It's that simple. But just kind of wanted to make a video explaining everything in one go. I know a lot of the YouTubers can't do this. They do a lot of editing. They make cool, little words or whatever. But yeah, won't keep you guys too long. Love you guys. Thank you for the support. Thank you for growing my channel. 5,200, 5,300% in 3 weeks. Thank you. Thank you for the likes too.